Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. I want to give you a quick update, really just do a little quick chit chat, I guess, and it's more of a combination of a chit chat and an update together. I like to call this segment, when the fool finally realizes that they've been played for just that, a fool. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and just jump right in. So I've really been updating you guys quite a bit in reference to my friend's quest in terms of her ancestry DNA journey so far. So as far as the latest details that I've received, I definitely wanted to go ahead and bring you guys up to date with what I just received from yesterday. So from what I understand, one of the main leaders in this BS, this nonsense, if you will, I think they ended up getting picked up by authorities. But from what I understand also is that there's still a few of their minions still running around. So what she's been doing, kind of like going back to the last video I mentioned, she's been doing quite a bit of recording, taking photos of those who she knows or that she finds to be aligned with this individual, and she's been sending it to the proper authorities. Now, again, the more I hear the details from her, the more I'm starting to realize that this truly may just go global. It's gonna probably go global because the individual this is connected to in terms of this establishment, this hospital, if you will, it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big thing. And the fact that these people are still attempting to do this is just beyond me. But it looks like some people have wisened up. So she mentioned there was this one particular individual that she has been seeing quite often, that was showing up quite heavily early on. And every time she noticed it, she would send the details over. But she noticed she hasn't been seeing that person lately. And there was a few other things she noticed, she pointed out. I won't go into too much detail on it. But one thing I will say is that she noticed that there's been a bit of a decline in terms of that activity from that side of the spectrum. We'll just put it that way. Now, whether or not the location is still being surveillanced or not, she feels that it still is heavily surveillanced, without a doubt. Especially because she still sees certain individuals that fit that mold, if you will. And she noticed the activity outside of the building as well as on the inside, especially in reference to the floor that she works on within the hospital. So, needless to say, I think that the best thing would be to maybe continue to have that presence there. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do in this case. This is where it gets interesting because I'm wondering even if the one who this hospital is tied to, if they're even privy to what's really going on there. Do they even know that all of this is happening? And my thing is, if they don't know, then why have they not been informed? Sounds like somebody might need to ring the alarm. That's really what it sounds like. Because I have a feeling if the head honcho, the big guy, gets wind of it, I'm sure a lot of this nonsense would subside and things would go back to normal for her. I'm trying to stay neutral in terms of all of this because I figured this is her journey and I have my own in terms of my ancestry DNA that I am going through, which I have some updates about that too. We'll share that with you guys in another video. But in regards to all of this, I'm actually encouraging my friend to take a step and possibly reach out to this individual to let them know. I mean, what do you have to lose? And at the end of the day, it's better to do it now because they may truly appreciate it that you kept them in the loop on this rather than not speaking on it, you know, and then letting them find out on a global scale. kind of like the saying, if the shoe was on the other foot, how would you feel? So if I was ever the head of an establishment, whatever it may be, whether it's like a hospital, maybe it's a restaurant, or maybe a hotel, whatever the case may be. And if I was on like the head of an establishment like that, and like, let's say there was somebody that was working in one of my establishments that knew something was going on, I would hope people would be very comfortable and very receptive enough to share those details with me or with my team, just so I'm aware and so it can be taken care of immediately. I left it up to her. She completely understood what I was coming from when I was having this conversation with her, but she really just said that she just needed to give it some thought. We'll see what happens. But kind of going back to what I said in the last video, I have this gut feeling with, at the rate that it's going, that this may really take off in a big way. And not say that this is an exciting thing to have to witness. I mean, it's exciting in the sense because the bad ones, the bad apples in this scenario are going to be captured. You know, they'll be captured and thrown away, if you will. But, you know, it'll be an unfortunate thing because the others that are tied to this, they really are not the bad apples, are in a sense being forced to deal with this. You know, that's the downside in it. Kind of go back to what I said before, I feel like it's unfortunate that she had to go through this because of simply just going through an ancestry DNA test and to find out these details. It's a pretty sad scenario in that regard, but I think when it's all said and done and the bad apples are gathered up, if you will, I really feel that the end result is going to be very, very rewarding. So kind of go back to the statement I mentioned earlier about titling this video, like when the fool finally realizes that they've been played for just that, a fool. You would think that the others would catch on, but it looks like there's a few stubborn ones that are out there. They're kind of still set in their ways, you know, wanting to attempt this, but they're not making any moves. See, the interesting thing about it is because they're wanting to. They're like, it seems like they're straddling the fence. Excuse me, I just got a notification. So it seems like they're straddling the fence on attempting to do whatever this is because they know it's pretty much a lost cause. Like, why continue to do it? Continue to harass the person if you know you're being watched also. And there's more of these individuals that are jumping into this pot. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why waste time doing it if you know that you're being monitored? And now you're adding yourself to the equation, which means there's going to be more cases of you being monitored because you're now trying to attempt a premeditated murder. No bueno. And to do it and to think that she's not able to see it, that's the part that's so just mind-blowing to me. Like, make it make sense. It's no point in half-assing the whole situation, especially if you know that if you even attempt to lay a finger on her, you're going to see sirens and people coming out of the woodworks on you. When you think that you're parked a certain way or you're sitting in a certain location and no one could possibly know that you're a part of this group, but yet you don't realize there's people right around the corner, or maybe have certain cameras and things set up in certain angles and from certain stairways and all that are watching you and just waiting for you to even attempt to take a step out of your car or take an attempt in moving your car close to her. Like, why put yourself in the line of fire like that if you know it's a lost cause? It just blows my mind. I told her, don't worry about it. It'll eventually all be over. But, you know, at the same time, I guess in a sense, it kind of goes back to what I said in the other video. Like, a part of me wants to have a sense of pity for these individuals, but then I'm trying to find it, trying to locate it in here somewhere. I can't seem to find not even a little bit. It's just like that old saying, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And to the individuals who are even still tossing around about trying to attempt this. Try God if you want to. You just might not want to. That is all for today's video. What are you guys' thoughts about this? Like this fiasco that these kids are still, you know, tossing it around or, you know, harassing my friend in this case in terms of all this. Like, how do you guys feel about this? Do you think that it's just blatantly ignorant? You know, I think it's pretty, in my opinion, I think I've kind of shared quite a bit in terms of my thoughts about it. And, you know, I just think not only is it blatantly ignorant, it's pretty pathetic. Like, don't you have more things to do or more things you can focus on than just this minute stuff where you're obviously not going to be getting paid? You're not going to be getting any money. So what's the point of even doing all this? Oh, and in case you guys weren't aware, she's already connected with a probate lawyer, an attorney on that. Yeah, so that's been already done too. In case you guys are wondering where she is in terms of the process of that. Won't say too much else, but just know that that's underway too, okay? So with all that being said, you know, again, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and this is a prime example of that. And I guess people have to be made an example out of just to understand why they should not do, you know, silly things such as this, nonsense such as this. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. One thing I've noticed with the last video, I think you guys are really loving the details about this ancestry DNA updates I've been giving you guys. I've been noticing an uptick in terms of messages on my other platforms. Definitely keep that going. Definitely do. It's very interesting that there are a few of you who may have either encountered this yourself or knew of someone who encountered this. Your stories were very telling, and thank you for being so open and sharing those details with me. Actually, as a matter of fact, I also shared it with her too. Because I received like 2 very, very good detailed responses. They were pretty lengthy, but I sent it over to her just to kind of give her an idea. And just so she knows that, hey, you're not the only one that has ever encountered this, apparently. But, you know, hopefully it gives her a sense of comfort on that end in terms of that. I hope that, you know, whatever sentence they give these individuals, they give them the maximum because they deserve it, to be quite honest. I want to know you guys' thoughts. As always, you can continue to send your responses over on my other platforms or leave your comments in the comment section below, as always. As for consultations, I don't have any other spots available for this week, but going into the new week, if you check, I do have some spots there. So definitely take advantage of that. And again, as always, I'm definitely sending you guys with love and light, and I'll see you in the next video.